our good friend Bernice Weiss, whose father was a minister, when we were in a transition between ministers here, she had said, you know, Lisa, the church isn't made up of just the minister. What makes up the church are the people in the church. So don't forget that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Bernice recently passed away, so those are words that live with us forever.
Definitely.
My experience with the Siesta Key Chapel started before Siesta Key Chapel was built. Mom and Dad and everybody worked together to create the original chapel. As the chapel was being built, we lived right across the street on Gleason Avenue, so coming over here as a little child, or as a young man actually, playing in the construction site and watching it literally being built was exciting, and my father being the project architect, he would come over and talk to us and explain to us how the acoustics would work and how the high ceilings and the heavy timbers were all tying together to create this balance of a building with nature, since the idea was to build God's treehouse. Coming here and continuing to worship here, 50 plus years later, as we're, celebrating the 50 years of the church and being part of it, and as it has grown and grown and grown over the years. As I also served as a deacon, and that was rewarding because that was the first class of deacons here. We did not have really the deacons, and they felt that was time to. We had such a big outreach. We really needed to have the deacons to be able to reach out to the homebound and stuff and people. We also, being married here was a very moving and exciting time for me. And really felt like I belonged here, and marrying Lisa here was very rewarding. And then when Pastor Kathy asked me to come with her to Haiti as part of a mission outreach for Siesta Key Chapel, the first 2 years she led the congregation down there and the assemblies, how everything was, and then the third trip she wasn't able to go. And so she asked me if I would serve as the lead for that, taking her responsibility there to do the outreach and to work with the children and to work with the schools. And I told her, I said, I don't think I'm qualified. And
you were.
She assured me I was. So, and that was very rewarding, and felt like, okay, I really am doing something to help a lot of the the outreach program and things. And Kathy was very instrumental in helping me get that going as well. But the church really reached out to myself and my brother and my sister and my mom, really a lot to my mom, to help support her, assure us, of faith and God's work and belonging. We belong to something bigger than just our family. And the church had been there for me on those times. Also, when my mother passed away, the church really surrounded us with love and gratitude and just an outpouring of love and support. Not overly committing or forcing themselves on us. It was just a really loving time.
Well, I would say this is definitely, for me, coming from a very churchy church, this was a complete surprise to me because I had never been to this church prior to being here with Craig. So this was a very non-traditional church for me, and it was very interesting and almost a breath of fresh air. The people were very welcoming, but just the whole structure in and of itself. And then, of course, having it mean so much to Craig because his father designed it. So I would say that just it was a different type of church, and it was interesting.
So much uncertainty in the world, and so much, bad news seems like it comes out every day. Coming here, feeling the love of Siesta Key Chapel and feeling the love of the people is so comforting, to feel like we can actually take a breath and relax.